Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chandan Perla, and I'm here to not give you a seminar because I'm here to tell you a story. This is a story that started close to 2,400 years ago. Imagine this. There are literally three people in a cave. Three prisoners in a cave. The whole of their lifetime, they were chained. They were chained in such a way that they can't see anything except for the wall that's right in front of them. Imagine this. I'm chained in such a way that I can't even move my head, and all I see is a wall and the shadows right on it. This is exactly what has happened to three prisoners so long ago. And you know what happened? The reality, what they think about the world outside, this is a world where they don't really know what's happening outside. So that's where everything that they perceive about the planet, everything that they perceive about what's happening outside is just by mere shackles of light flickering on the wall. Basically, shadows of things passing by. And that's where everything that they know has just been shadows. When I was in class 11, I was literally in a classroom with 60 other people. Every day from 8 in the morning to 8 in the night, we were just mugging up just one single piece of note, just ensuring that we become good at it. Without really knowing the purpose, without really knowing the direction where it's going. Everyone is just at high intent working to get a percentile that, should work out for them to get into a specific college. But is this dream theirs, or is this dream planted in their head? So that was the story of class 11, where I hated it. When I say hate it, I hated it. If you guys have hated your 11th and 12th because of so-called the way of how things were taught, can I see a raise of hands? Yeah, love you guys again. So this is class 11 story, right? We just had this one goal. That is, how do we tell these people, I'm not calling them prisoners, but how do we tell these people that there is a world which is not just those shadows anymore? How do we tell them that there exists a little lot more beyond that? And that's where I met this guy called Richie. You know what we did? We started something called Yo Champ Fest. Initially, we started it from Vijayawada. The goal was pretty simple. It doesn't really matter who you are, where you're from, what do you do, what do you like, what do you hate. But the only thing that matters to us is, if you're someone who's passionate at something, be it music, art, dance, anything and everything under the sun, we were at a scale that, even if you can solve Rubik's Cube well, I'm gonna give you a JBL speaker. So that was the punchline, where it doesn't matter who you are, if you can prove me on stage that you are the best for this one specific skill, and I'm gonna give you a JBL speaker. You know what happened? We scaled to 3 cities, more than 20,000 students from all across the South have come in, making it the South India's largest inter-school fest. We just had one goal. We want to show these people that there is a world that exists beyond mere shadows that you've been looking, that you have always been seeing, and the world that you've never been exposed to. And that was Yocham Fest. We've run it for like close to 2.5, 3 years. And because of COVID, we got a pause because it's a thing. It's a live event, physical thing. And the next part that comes at is, I was like, bro, you know what? For school students, we were able to show them that they can really look upon the passion. And the second part that comes at is, half of the people in Vijayawada, forget Vijayawada, half of the people in India, it's not all the students who make the decisions of what they want to pursue. It's the parents who make the calls as to what you should pursue. Do you agree with me? Yeah? So that was the point where we were like, I think we have to tweak a little bit on the culture point. We have to do something in our best power to try making the next big cultural shock. This was 2017, is when we were like, let's start a stand-up comedy club. We neither had the money, neither had the experience, neither had anything to organize a stand-up comedy show. You know what we did? I threw myself on a stage, on a crowd of audience. You know what I said? I really don't know what to say, especially in weird silence like this. I crack a joke on global warming. Do you know why? Because it's an icebreaker. So stuff like that initially didn't catch up, but over a period of time, it made sense to the right target audience. And after, embarrassing myself over multiple times in a positive way, is when we started doing a lot of these shows across the city. And over the next few months, we went from being a small stand-up comedy stall to a point of becoming one of the largest stand-up comedy shows organizer in the country. We went from literally myself to a point of bringing in people like Kenny Sebastian and not Zakir Khan. It's Zakir Khan? Yeah, it's Zakir Khan. Yeah. Can I hear a cheer for him? Just keep it going, guys. Yeah, I think it's the stage fright that's making me afraid. And that's where local newspapers started covering me, and then we went from zero to someone who can pull off stuff in a way that we never thought before. So there was this man called Prithvi who came up with this thing called Amravati Comedy Club. I'm sure you guys have heard about it sometime in your college life, because this today is the largest stand-up comedy club in the South. If you can say it in that way, especially in the Andhra and Telangana space. Okay. Yeah. So the next phase is majorly on the lines of what happened to the friends, the three people that we were talking about in the beginning, the three prisoners that were chained their entire life, that they can't see anything except for the shadows that were on the wall, is where one of the guys shackles unshackle. He got unchained, and then he runs out of the cave for the first time ever. And you know what he felt? He felt the reality out there is extremely different from what has they seen as a shadow. Which shadow they have perceived that this is how the world works, but which really not. And that's where I've taken this decision. For 12 years of my life, I've been in pure sciences, making it as my holy grail. I was like, bro, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. This is how my career is gonna look like. Adding on to that, I've got this award called Young Scientist Award for my research in thermodynamics. And everyone was clear that I'm gonna pursue, let's say, sciences or engineering and get this thing as a career path. But I chose to run out of the cave, taking business as a sector. Imagine a business graduate. I've taken business as a degree that I wanna pursue. Imagine a business graduate talking about a mental health analysis product. So this was me when I was in class 12.5, after 12th. So you know what we were building? I met this guy called Jasmeer Gill, who later has been my co-founder of this company called Absolute Tech. You know what we were building? We were just building one product. You put on those glasses, and these glasses are basically analyzers for mental depression in real time. It's like a thermometer for mental health. And we were like, we don't really have a scale at which we measure mental depression, stress, etc. How do we create a quantifiable manner is where this thing comes in. Out of nowhere, I realized that now I'm in a business school. How about we build a business out of this? And there was a huge story that happened where we got support from WeWork Labs, and then they crashed next month and all of that stuff. That's when I realized this one thing. It's fine to have walls. It's fine to have obstructions. And that was the moment I felt that when things don't work out your way, the way that you think about, our main reason for stopping Absolute Tech, the mental health startup, was that the incumbents, the companies that are there currently in the market 5 years ago, were so big that they would be able to release a product for our GTM. Our go-to-market was 7 years from then. And then their GTM was few months. We had 7 years and they had a few months. So we were incumbents were so big that we wanna shake hands and then be like, bro, you know what? It's a great story to tell the grandchildren. So yeah, that's when me and Jasmeer were like, let's call it a day. And that's when, how many of you guys know this brand? Yeah, cool. So that was the moment when we were like, there are these walls so strong, so big, that people in tier 1, 2, 3 are differentiated at a fundamental level. You know what I mean? People in tier 1 colleges get opportunities, internships, anything and everything, especially the network, which people in tier 2, tier 3, I mean, do not even come close of. Do you guys agree with me on that? Yeah? So that was that one core factor that we want to change. That was that one core factor that we were like, you know what, let's tweak it a bit. So this is during COVID. We basically started out of the founders YouTube channel. It's called the Curious Harish channel. And out of the channel, we went from, we were like, you know what, like if you're interested in XYZ, join the WhatsApp group. We grew it at a pace of 200% week on week, and then we went on to Discord. On Discord, within the next 1 year, we have become the country's largest and most active Discord server, managing more than 120,000 voice minutes a day. That is cumulatively higher, 100x higher than, in general, 100x higher than average startup of that size. And that was the moment we were like, we were looking for internships a week ago, and this week we are looking for people to join our team. The reason being, we've raised close to $4 million over the next few months, and then that gave us this tag of a platform where people can learn from each other. Network is what makes people glued, and at the end of the day, why are people coming? It's for the internship opportunities, irrespective of where you're from, what do you do, but the core underlying principle where we started at Yocham Fest, if you're skilled at something, you have to get an opportunity. If you're good at something, I think you deserve an opportunity. That was the reason why BlueLearn has become what it is today, with more than 220,000 people. And that's when we got this tag of Forbes 30 under 30, a super young team, and everything is going great. So that was the moment I realized something. I'm 22 right now. 20s are not really for someone, are not really for you to get comfortable at. So I was talking to Shreyans. Shreyans is the, oh yeah, this guy, the guy right beside me. So he was mentioning to me, when was the last time you throw yourself into situations and positions where there was an insane, intense, steep learning curve? And I did not really have an answer to that, because it's been fine. It's been going well, because like everything is on autopilot. The divisions that I've been leading, everything is smooth. Everything was great. Being a part of the core team, it was turbulent in the beginning, and then it became smoother. But the walls is what really struck me. It's been a while since I hit a wall. And that's where I started a podcast. This podcast I started close to 3 years ago. This is one common thing that I felt was, over the last few years, to build anything literally, I got an opportunity to talk to some of the coolest people out there. Some of the people who have been there, done that, literally. Imagine someone wrote a script for Netflix. I have him on the show. Imagine someone who has got paid $1 million for a Castrol advertisement. So if I have them on the podcast. Like, anyone and everyone who has done something cool are the people literally on High on Tranquility. When we started High on Tranquility as a second-year college student, it started as a mere experiment, thinking who would even listen. It's just my, let's say, audio clips that I'm creating. But within the beginning 8 months, people from more than 36 countries started listening, and within a year, we've hit 40 countries. And we were like, there is clearly a market that we have to cater to. There is clearly something that we have to build for Spotify. And then I met two folks. That is Revan Tanapoju and then this guy called Vamsi. So together we built the South India's largest, actually the country's largest regional podcast network with more than 6, 7, 8 podcasts. Yeah, I've just put the 6 famous ones. We've built multiple podcasts, and then we were able to cumulatively get more than 100,000 listeners of Spotify speaking Telugu. Imagine this trend. People who listen to stuff on Spotify and speak Telugu are literally the people who have capital in their pocket, disposable income. And that was the market where we were like, there is a business model to it. Let's build on that. And honestly, it didn't really work out. We got a toothbrush brand as a sponsor, and we went to mere nothing. And one common aspect that I've seen is, I was really a big fan of it. I'm still a big fan of it. You get people who are genuinely passionate for doing things, not for the money, but for something that drives them. Every single director, every single person who worked for all of these episodes are product managers at Google, working at, let's say, some fan companies, just putting extra hours because they were passionate at it. And that was the tangent, is when I was like, it's been a while for me, things have been smooth. let's build something new again. And that's when I began Podcast Circle. This is going to be the next thing where the pitch is simple. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you're from. If you have a story to tell, if you want to build the most fundamental way of storytelling, is where Podcast Circle is a place. And more about that is going to happen in the next few days. And well, throughout this time, if you look from the people about our friends from the cave, I mean, last time the guy who broke his, let's say, chains went out and then explored. And you know what happened? He comes back and then tells the other two folks that, guys, you know what? There is a better world out there, and what you're seeing is not real. I mean, instead of being accompanied by him outside, he gets beaten down just because people are comfortable in the walls that they are subjected to. I believe it's important to realize that it's a wall, and I believe it's important to break out of it, try to break out of it. And if you look at patterns everywhere, it's all about there is a problem, you want to try building it, shit hits the ceiling, things go wrong, is when you want to build something else, and again, repeat. So I've heard this thing, right? The number of times you fail should be more than the number of times someone even tries. That's when you know you worked on it. And at the end, realize that these obscure rules, let's say these brick walls under which we work under, that we follow, that we are abide by, are literally built by people no smarter than you. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my talk. Thank you.